Hi guys, Geedrew64 here, and today we're talking about the physical media releases for the month of September in the year 2024. We're not going to be talking about every single release, but most of the releases for September will be covered here in this video. These are just some of my picks, some main releases, and some things I think you guys might be interested in. I think this month, I would say, is definitely the month for new release. There's a lot of really heavy hitter new releases. There's some box sets that are pretty interesting, and then of course we got the collections of Halloween movies starting to roll out with Halloween just around the corner. Some really cool stuff this month. I'm looking forward to talk about all of that in this week's new release wall. With all that said, let's go and jump into the video. All right, first up is Bad Boys Ride or Die, Bad Boys 4. I didn't even see Bad Boys 3. I've seen the first two movies and I own those. The art looks pretty cool. There is a Blu-ray release. It's not dual packed. The 4K release has the same cover art. And then there's a pretty cool looking steelbook. I actually kind of like the colors on this. I think it kind of pops. It's interesting that they decided to go with this angled shot, but I think it works pretty well. It does not look boring, I think is the word I would not use, is boring. It's not boring.
Wow, that was weird.
Next up is Horizon: An American Saga Chapter 1. This is the Kevin Costner Western epic that did release in theaters. I believe it's supposed to be a 4-part movie, mega saga, hence the American saga used as the subtitle here. And unfortunately, it didn't do that well in theaters, so I don't think Chapter 2 is going to be released. Theatrically, it's going to go straight to HBO Max, and it'll probably get a physical media release. HBO's pretty good about those. And since we get to Chapter 1, I'm pretty sure we'll still get a physical media release of Chapter 2. But the only issue is that the physical media is right around the corner, but it's already on HBO Max. It's already on streaming. Historically, we've actually gotten windows of for physical media to actually get some sales before it went to streaming. Now things are all over the place. It's one thing to have VOD prior to physical media. It's another thing to have it added to a streaming service before the physical media comes out. So I'm not really sure how well this one is going to sell. That on top of the fact that it is a Chapter 1, and I think a lot of people are kind of burnt out on the Chapter 1 subtitle on these movies. But I'm looking forward to checking it out. I actually do like Westerns. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm looking forward to checking it out. We got the Blu-ray, the 4K here, same cover art, and then there is a Steelbook that's coming out. I think the Steelbook is kind of boring. I actually think that the basic 4K looks better. Let's put them side by side as always so you guys can judge. I tend to think that the basic cover art for the basic releases is better because I just like the landscape shot. I just think it looks a little bit more dynamic. But what do you guys think? Comment below and let me know. However, if you do want to get the Steelbook, that's the only way to get it dual packed. If you want a Blu-ray and a 4K dual pack, you got to get the Steelbook. It's not dual packed with the basic 4K. Next up is the Knuckles series is coming out. This was a Paramount Plus mini series. There's a Blu-ray option, which is kind of cool because the Blu-ray option has the red top instead of a blue top, which is a nice little flip there. And then there is a 4K option as well as a Steelbook, which again, like the J card has the red topper instead of the blue topper. So it looks pretty cool. I think the Steelbook is actually better than the basic releases, which is an improvement. Now, Steelbook is a Blu-ray only. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Anytime I see streaming shows, streaming exclusive shows, or streaming exclusive movies getting physical media releases, I think that's a great thing. So I'm glad Knuckles is coming out to physical media for Sonic collectors. Next up is another controversial movie, Inside Out 2. Why is it controversial? Well, the movie itself isn't, but this release is. So here's the Blu-ray. It is dual packed, which is nice. I like the cover, the slip cover for this. I think it looks pretty good. A lot of people have said this movie is a return to form for Pixar, which is good. I mean, I've really been turned off by a lot of the Pixar movies. I think the last good ones I watched were, Coco, and that was a long time ago. And Soul was okay. That one released, I think, in 2020. It went straight to Disney Plus. That one was okay, but I wouldn't say that it was like a return to form for Pixar. But a lot of people liked Inside Out too. So you may be asking, why is this release controversial? Well, so here's the Blu-ray release. Here's the 4K release. It is dual packed, which again is nice. You get the 4K and the Blu-ray, but you may have noticed this is a Steelbook. There is no basic 4K release for this movie.
What?
So the only way to buy this is to upcharge yourself and buy the Steelbook. I'm a Steelbook collector. Generally, if I'm buying new release movies, I go for Steelbooks. I pay the little bit extra to get it. However, a lot of people just like to get the basic releases. A lot of people don't care about the Steelbook. And, the fact that this is actually listed between $40 and $50, a basic 4K release is normally around $30. So you're upcharging yourself $10 to $20 if you want the 4K format. It's not even about the packaging anymore. It's just that's the only way to get that format. So it's bothered a lot of people. It's irritated a lot of people. I don't think the Steelbook is that exciting, to be honest. I think I kind of like the basic Blu-ray release better. I like how they're all crammed together on the cover. I think this one looks better. So that's why this one is controversial. But with all that said, let's move on from Inside Out 2 to something else. Next up is Long Legs. This has a Blu-ray release as well as a 4K release. This isn't really my type of movie. I like Nicolas Cage movies. I'm not a horror guy. Certain types of horror movies I do like, and it's a Nicolas Cage movie. So that's coming out. And the 4K is dual packed, so you get the 4K and the Blu-ray. Next, we've got Kille. This one has the Blu-ray release as well as a 4K release. And there is also a Steelbook. The Steelbook looks pretty cool, and I like the colors of the basic release, and I like the colors of the Steelbook. Something about blue and yellow. I like those colors together.
Well, duh.
I don't know too much about this movie. I know it's an action movie. That's about the extent of my knowledge of it. I'd be looking forward to checking it out. I'm not going to pay full retail price from it, but maybe this is a Black Friday pickup or something. The Steelbook looks pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. We've also got All of Us Strangers Criterion 4K coming out. Never heard of this movie. This one is a Blu-ray Criterion. There also has a 4K option for the Criterion set as well. We've also got Before Dawn. This has a Blu-ray release. Looks like it's a World War I movie. Don't really know much about it, but that one is coming out. And the last thing I want to talk about here in the new release section is the Primevals. You may be looking at this and be like, how is this a new release? Well, the thing that's interesting about this movie is it was filmed in the 70s, and then they did some additional shoots in the 90s, and the movie just finished its special effects like 2 years ago, thanks to a Kickstarter that helped them get the money to finish off the effects for the movie. And it's got like the stop motion, like old school, like Harryhausen type of deals to it. Go check out the trailer if any of this sounds interesting. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm glad this is actually getting a release here on Blu-ray. I do want to pick this one up and watch it. So now we're going to move into the older movies being released this month. So first up, we've got Chronicles of Riddick. This is the Arrow release. They're asking $40 for it. This is a 4K. There's a Blu-ray option as well. Same art for that one. The 4K, $40. Pretty cool looking art. This is the second Riddick movie. I actually own all three of them on Blu-ray. Obviously, this being a 4K and an Arrow, I'm sure this looks better than what the Blu-ray did. But Chronicles of Riddick is not my favorite one. I actually like the third Riddick movie the most, the one with Katie Sackhoff, but maybe if they release that one Arrow release, I'd pick it up. Chronicles of Riddick is a pretty fun little action movie, but as I said, it's not my favorite one, but it does have some cool art here. So the next one we've got is Repo Man. This is a Criterion release from the 1984 movie. Now, the only when I saw this, I was thinking this was Repo Men with Jude Law and Forrest Whitaker. And then I saw the date, 1984. I was like, nope, it's not that movie. So I'm not too familiar with this one. I like the art here. It definitely gives me like cyberpunk vibes. And then once you take the slip off, you got this cool like graffiti looking art. Just some pretty cool box art that I think is very cool. I like the green. It pops really, really nicely. The next thing we're going to talk about is A League of Their Own 4K. This one is dual packed with the Blu-ray. This is the first time this one's coming to 4K as an individual release. Now, I talked about this movie on my most valuable things in my collection video that I did last week, and I talked about it. So A League of Their Own was released as part of the Columbia Classics Volume 1 set back in 2020. So for 4 years, the only way to own this movie on 4K was to get that set. So it's nice this one's getting its own individual release, so that way people who want to pick this up on 4K can get it, because the Columbia Classics set on the secondary market, as I talked about in that video, was selling for like $500. So Pretty crazy. So nice to see this one getting a physical media release individually, because it's one of the best baseball movies, in my opinion. We've also got Murder on the Orient Express. This is the 1974 version. For the 50th anniversary, we're getting a 4K dual-packed Blu-ray. This is the first time on 4K, I believe, for this one. It's coming from Kino Lorber. We've also got Johnny Quest 2-pack, a Hanna-Barbera double feature with Johnny Quest versus the Cyber Insects and Johnny's Golden Quest. I remember watching Cyber Insects when I was a kid. I may or may not have seen Golden Quest when I was a kid. I do remember watching a lot of Johnny Quest when I was a kid. So that's nice, getting a Blu-ray release. Next up, we've got Caligula, the Ultimate Cut, coming out. I do like Roman stuff. I like Spartacus and Gladiator and things like that. And I like Rome. I think Rome is a pretty good, underrated series that I wish would have lasted a couple more seasons. However, I'm not necessarily interested in this one because apparently this Ultimate Cut is basically a rated X version of the movie. So I don't think it's not up my alley, but it is coming out if anybody's interested in it. 4K and Blu-ray dual pack. Moving into some Halloween stuff, we've got Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber. The Demon Barber of Fleet Street. So Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. I forgot even had a subtitle. I've always called it Sweeney Todd, but this is a musical horror movie. This is coming to 4K for the first time. It is dual pack. We've also got Friday the 13th. Now this is the 2009 Friday the 13th Arrow release. Pretty cool art. I actually really like this art. I think it pops really good. I don't know. I never saw the 2009 version of Friday the 13th. I don't know if it's any good. I've only seen the first few original movies. Again, I'm not a huge horror buff. I like some of the slasher movies and some of that stuff, but anyway, that one is coming out. We've also got Bringing Out the Dead with Nicolas Cage. This is a Martin Scorsese movie that I've never seen. It came out in 1999. Interesting. This is a Paramount Presents release. We've also got The Strangers on 4K. I actually remember this one because it came out when I worked at Blockbuster. So I guess that kind of dates me now, doesn't it? But The Strangers is getting a 4K release, I believe, for the first time. We got Doomsday coming out on 4K dual packed. We've also got Amityville Horror 4K coming out. I know a lot of people are looking forward to this one. And then we've got The Boy 4K coming out as well. For comedy fans, we've got Richard Pryor Live on the Sunset Strip coming to 4K. I know this had a Blu-ray release in the past. They're asking $33 for it. I think that's a little bit on the high side. I don't necessarily think a lot of people really care about watching comedies in 4K. At least it doesn't matter to me. The comedy translates whether it's in high def or not. That's just my take personally, but I know this is a popular special, so I'm thinking it'll probably sell okay. We've also got An Evening with Kevin Smith. This was from 2002. I've met Kevin Smith. I met him prior to his heart attack. And, obviously he's changed since then, as I think, a lot of us probably would. But this is all the way back from 2002. It's a 4-hour, like a Q&A that was done. I've seen parts of this and like excerpts from this, but I've never watched the whole special. So that one's coming out. All right, moving on to the Steelbook section of the new release. Well, we've got Stardust 4K Steelbook coming out. Doesn't that look great? I don't know how many people remember Stardust, but this was another one that came out when I worked at Blockbuster. Obviously, that was Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer, but Charlie Cox, a Daredevil, is actually in this movie, for those who don't remember. It was a pretty fun, fantasy movie from what I remember. I haven't seen it in a decade, a really long time. And I don't own it. So this is actually a steelbook I'm looking forward to picking up. What's interesting about this release is this is the basic 4K steelbook, but this is the second 4K steelbook that's coming out, and this one's a Walmart exclusive steelbook. Comes with some cards and stuff. It's just kind of interesting that you're getting two steelbooks for an older movie coming out. I do think that the basic release pops more than the Walmart exclusive, me personally. But again, let's put them side by side. Which one would you pick up if you saw both of these sitting on a shelf? The basic release on the left or the Walmart release on the right? Comment and let me know. We've also got Late Night with the Devil, which has a Blu-ray release, and it's like a Blu-ray steelbook set, which is interesting that it has this really cool set that's coming out. And it's really not that much more than a basic steelbook would be, and you get all these extra tchotchkes and things with it. There's also another set that I'm not 100% sure who's selling it. I know there's 2 different set options for this. I don't know much about the movie, but that one is coming out. We also got Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey Blu-ray release. It's a Walmart exclusive steelbook. They're asking $30 for it. I think that's pretty high for this type of movie, and it's Blu-ray. $30 I think is kind of crazy. Next month, the sequel to this is coming out, and it's getting a steelbook release as well. So I guess, they may complement each other if that's what you want to get. Again, this isn't my type of movie. I'm not really interested in seeing Winnie the Pooh as a slasher, but some people are. Some people like the novelty of it. And this is coming out on Steelbook if you guys are interested in it. We also got Creepshow coming out. Some nice blue and yellow again. We got a couple of good blue and yellow releases this month. This one's coming out from Shout Factory, Steelbook, 4K. We've also got Wind River 4K. This is actually a Walmart exclusive 4K steelbook is coming out. I don't own Wind River, and I would pick this up, except for that I don't really care for the steelbook. I think it's very boring. Literally, the titles take up the 50% of the steelbook. I just wish it was a better looking steelbook. I'm sorry, I find this very disappointing.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
We also got Dances with Wolves. Now, this, I believe, is a re-release of a previous steelbook, but this one is coming out, so I figured I'd go ahead and mention it. We've also got Body Double on 4K coming out. I've never even heard of this movie. This is a Brian De Palma film. Okay. Well, it is dual-packed and has a very interesting-looking steelbook. The next steelbook, which is one I would be interested in, is The Stand. Stephen King's The Stand. This is the Gary Sinise miniseries that was on TV. I actually already own it right here. And but I love this steelbook. I almost wish I didn't have it, so that way I could just buy the steelbook, because I think this looks really good. I think this steelbook cover is definitely much better than the Blu-ray release. However, The Stand is just a Blu-ray release. I believe it's the same exact disc that was released for this, so you're just getting the packaging. But they aren't asking too much. I think it's only $20 that they were asking for it. So not bad at all. And is a pretty good miniseries, and is much better than the newer Stand miniseries or new Stand series that came out. Much better than that. We also got Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie coming out, getting its own steelbook release. This is a Blu-ray only. $25 for this. Yu-Gi-Oh! Came out after I was a little bit older, so I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh! But that one is getting a steelbook release. We've also got The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Season 1 steelbook. Apparently Rick is back. I know he left the show, and I guess he came back to do this show with Marshawn. I stopped watching the show, I think, in season 6. I don't know, what are they on, season 500 now? So that concludes the steelbook section. Let's go ahead and move on to some interesting things that are coming out with TV series and box sets. First thing up, the Superfriends, the complete collection. This is 9 seasons, 16 discs on Blu-ray. They're asking $108 for it. Kind of pricey, but when you consider you're getting 16 discs and every episode of this show, I grew up watching reruns of this show on Cartoon Network. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I think it'd be fun to go back and watch some of these episodes. I know that they're super cheesy. People make memes of them. But I was happy to see this thing coming out. I'm not going to pop $108 on it, but I don't think the price is, I think the price is reasonable for how many discs you're getting. But that one is coming out. We also got the Mad Max 5 film collection. So this one's going to include the new Furiosa prequel. I actually just rewatched Fury Road and watched the Furiosa prequel back to back last night. They do work well together. I think Furiosa's, it's okay. I just don't think it stands alone very well. It's got some pacing issues, but it's not a bad movie. That one released last month. I don't know why they didn't release this 5 film collection when they released the Furiosa prequel. That would have made a whole lot more sense. Well, I can understand why. I guess they were just trying to milk extra money out of people. I don't like the packaging. It's one of those like fold outs, very cheap fold outs. I don't like them. You can scratch your disc very easily. Comes with some cool character cards. Yeah, anyway, the 5 film collection's coming out. If you guys did not pick up Furiosa, this might be something you guys might be interested in. They're asking $132 for it. I think that's overpriced, especially for this type of packaging, but it is coming out. We've also got Ted Season 1 Blu-ray coming out. Actually, like the first Ted movie, And I've never seen Ted 2 because everybody told me it was terrible, so I never watched it, even though I own it. But I heard season 1 of this show is actually really solid. It's actually pretty good. And I think Scott Grimes is in it, who I really like from the Orville. So, you know, I actually am looking forward to checking this out. Again, this was like a streaming exclusive show that's getting a physical media release, and I think that's awesome. We also got Reacher Season 2 coming out, another streaming series getting some physical media love here with a Blu-ray disc. We've already got Season 1 had a Blu-ray release. This is an Amazon Prime show. I have not checked out Season 2, but I actually thought Season 1 was pretty solid. So that one's coming out. We've also got this massive Friends, the complete series 4K set, $208, so it is pricey. Obviously a lot of discs. I mean, a lot of content you're getting for Friends. Ran for I don't know how many seasons, 8 or 9 seasons. I'm not a big fan of Friends necessarily. I've seen a few episodes here or there, but I've never sat down to watch all of them. But if you are a fan of Friends, this is a really awesome set. The fact that they upgraded this to a 4K and you're getting a 4K release of this old show is pretty crazy, and I'm envious of Friends fans because they're getting this. But at $208, you will have to pay up for it. Next thing we got Bewitched, the complete series Blu-ray release. I remember watching Bewitched whenever I was younger. It was on TV Land and Nick at Night. I was more of a I Dream of Jeannie fan than Bewitched, but we did watch both of those growing up. So that one is coming out. We also got a Transformers 7 movie collection on Blu-ray. There's also a 4K option. It has the same packaging. Obviously, this has all 7 Transformers movies. You know, the 4K set, they're asking $94 for it. For 7 movies, I guess that's not bad. And we got this Batman 85th Anniversary Collection 4K Blu-ray set. Some decent movies in here, but considering this is the 85th anniversary of Batman, that's what they're labeling it as. The movies they decide to put on here are kind of strange. And what they left out is even stranger. There's no Batman Under the Red Hood is not included. The Dark Knight Returns the 2 films, those aren't included in this. There are some good movies like Mask of the Phantasm, obviously. The Killing Joke, half of the movie is good, but a lot of these are just kind of mid. I would classify them as mid Batman movies. So kind of strange what they decided to put in this. And they're asking $162, which is just, I don't think that's very good. Most of these you're going to be able to wait and get on sale and just get regular Blu-rays of them. Most of the animated shows, animated movies don't really need the 4K release, in my opinion. But anyway, this one is coming out if you guys are interested. And that's it for the new release wall for the month of September in the year 2024. Like I said, there was a lot to go through in this one. This video may be a little bit longer than some of my other new release wall videos, but we'll see what we can do in editing. You'd be surprised of how much gets on the cutting room floor when I'm editing these videos. But what are you guys looking forward to picking up the most this month? Something I talked about? Is there something I didn't talk about that you guys are interested in? Continue that conversation in the comment section below. And as always, I want to thank everybody for sticking around on this video. Thank you, subscribers. All of you are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all the YouTube stuff or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geechu64, and I'll always tell you the truth.